Are you thinking about buying a home in Toronto, but you realize that it might be a little too expensive, so you're starting to expand your search to the GTA, which is the Greater Toronto Area, but you're not really sure how you would get back into Toronto to get to work? Well, then this video is for you. I had a viewer reach out to me to ask me about GO stations outside of the GTA, so I thought I'd do a quick video to show you your transit options in the GTA. And make sure you stay until the end because I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of living near a transit hub. So let's get to it. Hi everybody, my name is Connie Sarvanandan and I'm a real estate agent and investor here in Toronto and the GTA. I've lived in Toronto most of my life and I have taken every transit option that there is, or commuting option that there is. So there are basically 4 ways to get about Toronto and the GTA. First of all, you can walk, and there are lots of neighborhoods that you can walk everywhere within Toronto and within the GTA communities. When I first got my first place in Toronto, I actually walked everywhere because a lot of places don't come with parking. And when they do come with parking, it can be really expensive. The second option is to drive. Toronto is a driving city and our commute times are horrible. And that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, a lot of people drive. And second of all, we have a ton of construction going on in the city. So as a result, our commute times can be really bad. And there's a lot of reasons for a lot of drivers in the city. But one of the major reasons is that our subway system was very limited. We had basically 2 major lines and people decided to drive because it was a lot easier than taking several buses. But the city and the province is addressing that now, and you're going to see a lot of construction throughout the city for more subways and also more LRT. So they're definitely trying to address it. But for now, commuting remains a challenge because it can be long. And it can be frustrating. The third option when it comes to transportation options in the city is the TTC. So the TTC is the Toronto Transit Commission and they run everything in the city. So whether that be subways or buses or streetcars, they're the ones that are responsible for anything within the city. And then the final option is the GO Transit, is trains and buses. They go to places outside of this city in the GTA. And that's what I'm gonna focus on in this video. We're actually gonna look at a map of GO Transit to show you what your options are outside of the GTA. Now, on top of those options, there's also Via Rail, which is our national rail line, and they actually will bring you in from cities that are even further out. So say from Montreal or from Ottawa. But for this video, I'm going to show you the GO Transit map to show you what it is like if you decide to move to an area in the GTA and you want to commute in. So let's get to the map. Okay, so this is the GO Transit System webpage. The GO Transit is GO and then transit.com. And then this is the map for GO Transit. So what you will see here is this part is Toronto and everything with GO leads you back to Union Station. Union Station is this station in Toronto and it is the hub of all activity when it comes to transit in Toronto. So Union Station is where the subways in Toronto would go to. Union Station is where the Via Rail would go to, which is our national rail line. And then it's also where GO Transit trains come into. And then it's also where a lot of the buses for GO Transit also come from out of town into Union Station. So Union Station is like the hub. Surrounding Union Station is Scotiabank, which is where the Raptors and the Maple Leafs play. So it's just a area that, you know, it is the hub of Toronto. So everything we're going to be talking about today leads into Union Station. And from Union Station, you can take the TTC and other things where you can go to, different parts of the city. The other thing about Union Station is, if you're working in the financial sector or the insurance, banking, there's so many companies that are walking distance from Union Station as well. So these are all the train lines. And so when you grab a GO train, you can come from any of these lines. So if we go from east to west, first of all, there's the Lakeshore East line. So the Lakeshore East line starts at Union Station, goes through Toronto. So this is Danforth and then Scarborough, and then Eglinton and Gilwood and Rouge Hill are also actually in Scarborough. And then it goes into Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, and Oshawa. Now, beyond Oshawa, there are all these thin green ones are buses. And so the buses come in and they will go into the Oshawa GO train. So you have Curtis and places like Clarington, and this is Peterborough. So there's a Peterborough bus terminal as well as Trent University. So they will all go into the Oshawa GO train station. So that's the Lakeshore East line. Next, we have the Stouffville line. So Stouffville goes through Toronto as well. So Kennedy, Agincourt, those are all in Toronto, in Scarborough. Then we get into Markham, Unionville. So Milliken, Unionville, Centennial, Markham, those are all within Markham, Stouffville. So you got Mountjoy, Stouffville, and Old Elm. Now this line here is Highway 404. So Highway 404 turns into the Don Valley Parkway. So it's one of our major arteries in Toronto, and it goes north-south. So up here it's Highway 404, and then once you cross the 401, which is here, it turns into the Don Valley Parkway, which also goes downtown. So the Stouffville line and the Richmond Hill line both straddle the, Highway 404. So the Richmond Hill line, again, starts at Union, goes up to Oriel and Old Comer. So this is all around the 401 and Leslie area. Then it goes into Langstaff, Richmond Hill, Gormley, and Bloomingdale. Next up, we have the Barrie line. So again, this is the Highway 400 right here. And Highway 400 is what takes you north. So if you want to go to Blue Mountain or you want to go to Muskoka, you would take Highway 400. So this line goes all the way to Barrie, and it'll pass through places like Maple and King City and Aurora, Newmarket, Bradford, and then gets right into Barrie. Next, we have the Kitchener line. So Kitchener-Waterloo has two big universities. They have Laurier and Waterloo. And so there's been a lot of people who are moving to Kitchener because there's also companies that are moving to Kitchener, and there's a big tech boom in Kitchener, like Google is there, and all these other companies are coming to Kitchener. So what you will find is there's a lot of people that are either living in Kitchener or they're commuting back and forth from Toronto to Kitchener to different offices. So the Kitchener line would suit them. And again, you have Kitchener goes from Union through Toronto. Etobicoke is part of Toronto. Then it goes into Malton, which is Bramalea, Brampton, goes through Georgetown, Acton, Guelph, and then hits Kitchener. Next, we have the Milton line. So again, Milton is also further east, and you have places like it goes through Kipling, and then it goes through Mississauga. So Dixie, Cooksville, Arundel, Streetsville, Meadowvale, those are all Mississauga, and then it heads over to Milton. And then finally, the last line is the Lakeshore West line. So Lakeshore West goes all the way to Niagara Falls. And first of all, you have Mimico, Long Branch, Port Credit, but this is all within Toronto, and then moves over to Mississauga, Clarkson. Then you get Oakville, Burlington, it goes into Hamilton, and then this way it goes over to Niagara Falls. You know, Hamilton has McMaster University, other universities also this way, Brock and colleges are all this way. This way is also where Niagara Falls is, as well as wine country. So lots of people take this because they're going this way for either school, work, or tourism. So those are all the options that you have. So if you're looking at buying outside of Toronto, my recommendation to you is you really need to figure out how you're going to get into Toronto if you work in Toronto. Like I said, there's those 4 options, but if one of those options is your GO train option, then you want to really make sure that your GO train option is accessible to you and that you are close by to a GO train station. Living near a GO train station is great in a lot of ways because, you know, it's going to be convenient and it's going to be quick, and popular GO train stations get busy, so you'll get first access to parking and all of those things. But as with any sort of great transportation hub, you know, if you live near a GO train station, you just need to make sure your commute is okay to that GO train station, that it's not too busy. You want to check for noise. You want to check for activity. It's just like living near a subway in Toronto. Usually if you're near a subway, it's fantastic because of all the amenities, but it's also so much busier because you are in a highly desirable area. So just something to watch out for. I personally love being in areas where there are easy transit, because it means that there's a lot of activity and a lot of pedestrian activity. But some people hate that. So it's just really what you like. So that's it. If you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear them. And please make sure you make a comment below. And then if you have any questions about buying or selling property in Toronto and the GTA, feel free to reach out, call, text, email, or WhatsApp, or even better, make an appointment with us. And I love talking real estate, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And just like this video was somebody who watched my videos and asked me specifically about GO trains, and I'm taking him out to see some properties. But if you have questions like that, I would love to answer them. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.